I believe the issue has been resolved. So, as I was saying, just give us introduction about yourself, the journey into the tech, how you started, what are the things that basically ginger you into tech before even going to the topic for today.
Yes, my name is Olayinka Karim, and I'm a senior software engineer for a leading edtech. And yeah, education, working in the educational system is really interesting, and as we get to impact people, and education is the key. So we do things that change people's lives, and yeah, my journey in tech started almost 13, 14 years ago, over a decade now. So I had a BSc in computer science and I took it further and all that. So it's gonna be a long session today and a lot of talks, a lot of topics. So yeah, just stay tuned and let's keep the fun alive. Yeah. So there you go. Keep the questions coming. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we would like to know, since you've been in the education sector for a while, what are the key challenges that education, both home and abroad, what are the things that they normally face? And because we know that a couple of people are into fintech, but we don't have the education sector saturated, but we basically want to know some of the issues that people might have been looking into regarding solving issue about education.
Yeah, I will start from Africa. The challenges I face in education system in Africa, even though most of us know, is lack of adequate facilities and infrastructure for educational system. You know, I was opportune to study in Africa for my bachelor's degree, then I traveled to Europe for my master's degree, and I've experienced education both sides. Studying in Africa, and I can tell you the educational system. You see some schools, the government in Africa, especially Nigeria to be specific, the budget for education is quite low, and as you see so many schools and universities, they are really underfunded. So that's one problem. The schools and institutions are not well funded. Another challenge I could see over the years is access to internet. Even while we were in the universities, and we had limited access to internet, and that kind of impacted research to some extent because a lot of people had to manage their internet, and so we're sort of limited to, and it's expensive if you want to, like, okay, you want to do longer research, and you have to have a lot of money, and how many people have that money? So lack of internet and limited access to internet and the cost of internet is another factors impacting the educational institutions in Africa in a negative way. And um, and another factor, I think the third factor will be the the youth readiness over the past few years, and Nigerian youth to be specific. I kind of know Nigeria more than I know other parts of Africa. So Nigerian youth have not really been showing much interest in the educational system, and in the country, you see a lot of people have given up on the system due to how the political leaders are handling the educational system, and a lot of people will be like, is it enough for us to just have money? I don't have to go to school. I don't have to be educated. I just want to make money. And so you see the new generation youths, they call them Gen Zs. They just want to make money. They don't believe in knowledge as much as the old generations. They don't believe in research as much. So all those factors, if you put them together, those are things that's really affecting the education system in Africa, and it's kind of setting us back. So if you compare with the Western system, I've lived in Europe and I'm currently living in England, and I think the government, they have a good foundation. The government has invested a lot of funds into education, so they have standard schools from the preschools to high schools to universities. I can tell you they have one of the best schools in the world, and the success they achieved did not come overnight. It is how the government has invested a huge budget in the education system over the past few decades. So that's the result, and that's why they are able to produce top-notch innovations, highly technical innovations, which is driving the economic growth and a lot of other sectors.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I think it's actually helpful, and some of the takeaway happens to be the policy, basically how government, what are the challenges, basically that people are basically facing regarding the government, how are people basically interested in doing going to school and the likes, because I believe that during our own time, people are eager, still eager to basically learn one or two things to even go to school. But nowadays, I believe the politics system, the political system in especially in Nigeria, has really affected uh, the youth in going to school
Yeah.
because they didn't actually believe in that particular education again. While working on the solution towards education, what are the likely challenges that you are faced as a software engineer? What are the likely issues that basically you face, and how did you actually approach them?
I think when you're driving innovations in the 20th century, I think the major issues are data. You know, data makes the data is everything in the world today, and I think data aggregation is a factor in uh, in edtech. You need access to some data, and you you're trying to make some processes a lot faster, so you need data. So when I was when I started working for Renaissance in 2022, we when schools want to onboard their students on our platform, we use there's something called student import. So we use an Excel file. We give the school a template. They fill that template with all their students and all that. Then they upload it. But it takes a lot of time. Imagine a school that has thousands of students. Do you know how long it's gonna take them? And you literally can't do anything on our platform until you've onboarded your students, because basically the product we have is called Testwise. The product is Testwise, and basically it's just like a online assessment platform, something like CBT, but it goes beyond that. So if you look at the in the Western system, government regulates curriculums. It's not just schools. The government kind of so the leading edtech have license to create assessments like GCSE courses and all that, and they provide schools with with the ability that for their students to come and take those exams on some third party platforms, trusted third party platforms that have the license. So so that's one of our products. Test wise, then student come there, take exams. It comes in three phases, where the mode where you take assessments like test, the another version, like another mode where you actually learn. So we have a tool where teachers use that system to train their students on different courses. It could be like mathematics, it could be like English, it could be sciences, it could be verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and all of that. Then we have the third area, which is the data, the reporting. The reporting is just like, sometimes some schools want to know the performance of their students among themselves on the national level, like how our students, how are they performing with when compared to other schools in the United Kingdom. So there is something called SAS score. So there are a lot of statistics involved and all that. So you can actually, so we provide schools to see the performance of their schools on a national level and on a global level.
Wow.
So you can tell like, okay, how are they performing with students of the same age in United States, in Australia, in so we provide schools with those data. So schools can sit up, they can see like, okay, our students are doing well on a national level, our students are doing well on a global level. So those are services that the platforms, covers. And so when you look at a system like that, you see that if there's no structure in place, a system like that might not thrive. So when you ask the question like, what are the challenges? So the first problem I solved was it takes a lot of schools to get fully onboarded on the systems, as a lot of schools have thousands of students, and filling an Excel with all the student informations, we're talking of about 15, 20 informations of each student. Then
Wow.
ours, so so what we did is there is something called MIS systems. So MIS are they are like school information systems. So in the Western world, literally every school has MIS systems.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's where, so most of those MIS softwares have data for all schools, because when you set up a school, this part of government requirement, like you need to run it using an MIS. The MIS needs to have your data and all that. So we felt like, okay, instead of collecting those data from you, which takes several weeks or several months for we to for our company to onboard a single school successfully, why not, since all schools use MIS, which means every country has the MIS that the government recommends, why not talk to the
Okay.
MIS API
Oh, great.
and get the data from there? So there is an MIS that covers Australia, UK. They call it WAND, WNDE. So WAND MIS. So it's an MIS aggregator. So WAND has data for all kind of MIS. So MIS also reports to aggregators. So
Okay.
if you integrate a platform like WAND, for example, they have data of literally all schools in the UK, Australia, and all the areas they cover. So that way, when we integrate WAND, all you need is give us your WAND ID, then we pull all your student information from there. So this
Okay.
made onboarding a lot faster, and it was able to increase the value access time, the time to value rate to like over 80%. So
Wow.
people, so when after integrating that system, now when schools want to onboard, instead of filling Excel, they just give us their want ID, then we pull all this. So before you know it, they get on our system. We have used that ID to pull all their data, and they can see all the information of their student. So they don't have to upload with Excel anymore. So it feels like magic, and we had good feedbacks from schools that used that feature, and those were, we had great feedbacks. So those are challenges. How do you, working in edtech, how do you process data? How do you handle data? So those are key things that has to be looked into when you're working in
Okay.
edtech.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that. It's very, very interesting to know about how you're able to solve data issue and connecting to that particular API that you mentioned. I think it actually simplify the work. So I knew about a particular company back then in school that develop applications regarding like Jam, CBT, and the likes.
Yeah.
And make it in form of a game. I also believe that if we incorporate game into the edtech, I think there should be some people. I believe a lot of people basically use them. So I just want to know your view about building edtech related apps that is going to be in form of a game. Maybe you have it in your company, or maybe it's part of what you think can actually fly along the line. I just want to know your view about it.
Yeah, if you look at preschools and the junior level schools like preschools and all that, and the nurseries and all that, kids tend to find highly interactive visuals very fun. So if you and there has been so many systems nowadays that incorporate, you know, game like interactivity into learning. It helps, especially it helps students with the age of like maybe 5, 7, less than 10 years old. It kind of help them a lot. But if you look at junior high schools, higher high schools, I mean that's the level you get a lot. You get more serious. So I think at that level, technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality can be brought into learning, especially for sciences and all that. I mean, it's going to really, really help students. So, yeah, making interactive games really, really help. Tapa. So, really help, systems. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that also. I just want this to be short,
Yeah.
because I know you are busy. So for engineers, for founders, for innovators that want to go into EdTech, what are the advice, practical advice that can basically give to those kind of people? I would like to know.
Yeah, I think basically what I would say is any innovator going into edtech should first do feasibility studies, market research, and all that. Look for a problem in the market you want to capture. Don't just like, okay, everybody is doing this and it looks like they're making big cash. I want to do it as well. Because that mentality is really common in Africa where look at fintech markets now. Literally everybody, there was a time a lot of people were doing fintech. It was fintech and fintech and fintech, and literally everybody was doing fintech. There are so many problems in other sectors, in the educational sector, in agricultural sector. There's so many problems, but people tend to only focus on fintech. So I would say that people should do their due diligence, do market research, do feasibility studies, look into a domain, an area you want to solve problem, look at your market, then come up with a solution that actually address the problems people are facing.
Okay. Okay. I think that is an insightful conversation today.
Yeah.
Uh, I believe you've gained one or two advice from there if you want to go into edutech, and you want to basically build innovation in the future of learning. I also believe that AI is doing a lot of things that a lot of companies that are into edtech will basically incorporate as the AI involves. And for my last question, right, I would like to just an advice to youth, to people that still want to go to school, that still believe in school. What is the advice that you can basically give to those kind of people?
Yeah, school is good because even yes, Nigerian educational system might be at a level we don't want it, but still, I believe that if some of us could make it out of it, I would definitely advise a lot of people to embrace education, to embrace schooling, and then after the higher institution level, I mean, it's worth it looking outside, because Nigerian education system is very good in theory, which sort of help foundation. So I would just say that people should not really undermine our educational system. It's not that impressive, but I feel students can still, gain a lot of things from it. Then they can take it to the next level by doing their maybe postgraduates in the Western world, where there
Okay.
is enough equipment, you know, especially in terms of science and technology careers. You need access to modern equipment, internet access for research and all that. So I think it's what I wouldn't say education in Nigeria is not, it's not worth it. It's definitely worth it, but it can be better if government
Yeah.
invests money there. So my advice to the student out there is just like education is good. Education is really worth it, and because if you don't have that basic education, you're still gonna get cheated, you know.
Yeah.
And there
True.
are still a lot of opportunities that are coming in the future that if you don't have at least bachelor's degree or diploma, you're going to regret it. I won't say you are going to regret it. You will definitely regret it because okay, look at the in the last few years, a lot of people have been migrating out of the country due to the economy hardship and all that. And I think the people that benefits most from that relocation is educated people because you can use school to relocate, go for your masters abroad, then start a career from there, and you have an option to come back to Nigeria and get a good job and all that. And if you look at statistic as well, the people that study abroad when they come back to Nigeria, they have higher pay than people that actually study in Nigeria. So my advice is, study really hard, believe in yourselves, apply for scholarships if you don't have that finance to take your education to the next level. Try out that international education after the one you have in Africa or Nigeria, so you can be exposed to global resources, global tools, modern infrastructures, that and access to unlimited internet that can actually broaden your outlook and gives you enough opportunity to conduct different kind of research in your area of expertise. So education is just everything. So it's really what investing all your time, your money, your energy in. So yeah, so that's what I would say.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Olanyinka, for sharing your experience and expertise with us today. We really appreciate your time and contribution.
Yeah, my
And to everyone
pleasure.
who joined us on LinkedIn and on YouTube, thank you for being part of today's discussion. If you found this valuable, you can follow us on Tech Niger FM on YouTube for more conversation like this. You can also subscribe on our YouTube channel. We will round it up today, and we'll see you again the next episode. Until then,
All right.
keep innovating, keep learning, and have a good evening, everyone.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers,
you. Yeah,
everyone.
bye. Bye.
Bye.